Hola, bienvenidos. We are at our notes packet for Unidad 2, Lección 1, and it's page 4. Now, your notes packet might be a tiny bit out of order, so if it's not page 4 that says Saber y Conocer, like this, make sure that you switch and just go to that page and we'll come back to the other one later. So just go to the page that starts with Saber y Conocer. It should look like this at the top of your notes packet. All right, let's get started. Saber y conocer. How do we know when to use these two beautiful verbs? So our first verb is conocer. And it's pretty normal in conjugation. It just is a little bit weird in the yo form, where we add z to right before the c. So you say conozco, conozco. That's just to make the C still say k when it's next to the O. It's just the way it is. So you just have to remember that that one is irregular in the yo form. Both of these verbs are irregular in the yo form, actually. So conozco, tú conoces, él conoce, nosotros conocemos, vosotros conocéis, and ellos conocen. Make sure your chart is filled in. If you need to pause, just pause, fill in your chart. Okay, the next one, saber, again, irregular in the yo form. Sé. Yo sé. I know. Yo no sé. I don't know, Miss Silva. Yo no sé. I don't know. To know how to do something or to know an answer. This is saber. Yo sé. Tú sabes. Él, ella, usted sabe. Nosotros sabemos. Vosotros sabéis. And ellos saben. Both are irregular in the yo form. So again, both of these verbs are irregular in the yo form. Now, what do they mean? Well, they both mean, well, we can practice to conjugate these really quick. Yo conozco, tú conoces, yo sé, ellos conocen, ustedes, what can you think? Saben, tú conoces, nosotros sabemos, vosotros conocéis. So, ¿sabes patinar? Do you know how to ice skate? ¿Conoces los Vikings? Do you know, are you familiar with the Vikings, the football team? So, when do we use saber? Saber means to know general information or to know facts. Marta sabe mi nombre. Marta knows my name. Yo sé que 2 más 2 son 4. I know that 2 and 2 are 4. When you follow saber by an infinitive, saber means knowing how to do something. ¿Sabes esquiar? Do you know how to ski? Ella sabe usar la computadora. Does she know how to use the computer? Okay, so if you follow it with infinitives, you know how to do something. Otherwise, we're talking about general information and facts. The difference between saber and conocer. Conocer is when you talk about being familiar with a person or place or to meet them. We use it when we talk about meeting someone. Don't forget the personal a. So when you use a verb for a person, you put an a to make that stand part and the person be more special. Quiero conocer a Bruno Mars. So I want to know or to get to know or to meet Bruno Mars. When we know someone, like you just know them, you're familiar with them, you're friends with them. Yo conozco a la profesora. Don't forget the personal a again. So when you're doing it, when you use conocer before a person, you put a in between it. Conocer a. Now, if it's just a place, there's no a because it's not special. It's not as special as a person. People are more important. So when we talk about a place or being acquainted with a place, you say, ¿Tú no conoces Mexico? You don't know to Mexico? You've never been there before? You're not acquainted with it. To be like, to get to know that, to get to know what it's like. That's what conocer means. And it can mean also to meet. So let's practice when you use the two different verbs. So if you know or are familiar with Bolivia, would that be conocer or saber? How about this one? How to play the piano. How to should be your hint that it's one of those two. How about if you meet Pink, the artist known as Pink? How about knowing what time the game starts? You're knowing a fact here. What time the game starts? Which one is that? Knowing how much something costs. That's a fact. It's a price. How about getting to know or being acquainted with the new restaurant downtown? And how about your best friend's mom? If you said conocer for Bolivia, that's right. Yo conozco Bolivia. How about saber for play the piano? You're right. Yo sé tocar el piano. Meaning Pink, tú la conoces. You know her. You've met her. Or you will meet her. Knowing what time the game starts. Ellos saben, saber, a qué hora empieza. Knowing how much something costs. Susana sabe cuánto cuesta. The new restaurant, yo lo conozco. Now I know that I'm using lo because I'm talking about it, the restaurant. I know it. I'm familiar with it. Sí, yo lo conozco. And then your best friend's mom, do they know her? Well, yeah, ellos la conocen. La refers to her. They know her. Ellos la conocen. All right, and now we're going to practice one or the other, and these are the practices that are in your worksheet, so make sure you write the answers down as we go. Which one is it? Saber o conocer. Try to do it on your own, and then go back and check to see if you, just to check your understanding. Yo quiero blank a Beyoncé. It's a person. You want to meet them. Which one was meeting? Okay. ¿A qué hora empieza el partido de fútbol? The time. It's a fact. Do you know what time the game starts? Which one was that one? And it's do you know? That's a 2. Okay. And then Alicia, Buenos Aires, Argentina. She's familiar with it. She's been there. Which one? Saber o conocer, and can you conjugate it right? Nosotros, blank, ¿dónde están las Olimpiadas? We know where they are. We know where the Olympics are. Check your answers. Did you have conocer? Yo quiero conocer. Now, maybe you didn't keep this in infinitive. Maybe you just conjugated it for yo because it was, you saw the yo and you were like, yep, conozco. But you forgot the 2 verbs go walking rule. So don't forget that 2 verbs go walking rule. Yo quiero. Quiero was already conjugated, so you didn't need to conjugate conocer. Yo quiero conocer a Beyoncé. ¿Sabes? ¿Tú sabes a qué hora empieza el partido? Do you know what time the soccer game starts? Alicia conoce Buenos Aires. She's familiar with Buenos Aires. Y nosotros sabemos dónde están las Olimpiadas. We know where they are. One more. Yo no blank la hora de clase. I don't know what time class starts. Tú al nuevo estudiante de España. It should say al nuevo estudiante de España. Do you know the new student from Spain? Or have you met them? Ella, muchos lugares, pero no Londres. She knows she's been to a lot of places, but she doesn't know London. She's not familiar with London. Which one is that? Saber o conocer? Susana y Paco. Leandro Messi. They've met him. They met him. Which one is that? Saber o conocer? And then el restaurante Wingstop me encanta. So, yo no sé a qué hora, la hora de la clase. I don't know the time of the class. Tú conoces al nuevo estudiante. You met this new Spanish student. Ella conoce mucho. She knows a lot of places, but she doesn't know London. Susana y Paco conocen a Leandro. They meet Leandro Messi. And ¿conoces el restaurante? Are you familiar with the restaurant Wingstop? A mí me encanta. I love it. Okay, so those are your notes and your practices for saber y conocer. Please reach out if you have any questions. Hasta luego.